While the whole world knows that they need Africa, black people want to divorce Africa, and America wants to divorce us. The diaspora is in division, and most black people have lost their vision. So I want you to hear this lady talk about the marriage between a man and a woman, and then put yourself in our shoes, black people's shoes right now, or people, period, and see how this woman's articulate message matches the position that we are in today, and we can't see it, okay? Most Europeans are running to Africa, and we are running right back to the slave master, getting petted on the head like we are some kind of pets. But there's enough of our community to stand for all. We have broad shoulders, and when it comes down to trying to get rid of people like us, that's almost a lost mission. So listen up.
When a man wants to get married, he's only getting married truly for one reason. Because let me be honest with you women, the men can work and provide for themselves. He does not necessarily need you to cook, clean, and have sex, because he can get sex from multiple women. They're giving it out. A lot of them can cook and clean. Their mother taught them, or they could pay someone to get it. So why would a man go past what the culture is telling him and choose to have a wife? It's for one real simple reason. Because with a wife, you can now have love, you can have support, you can have affection. So if that is not what you're leading with in your relationships with men, is love, support, nurturing, and respect, this is why your husband is now pulling away, because in the beginning you gave him those things. But as you got into...
So, after we have cooked, cleaned, provided the master with all kinds and types of sex and bearing of children who were actually sold, all of us were actually chattel slavery, and chattel slavery was about money, about building up the colonies into the United States of America. But where's our embassy? Where's our love? I mean, who loves black people around here? Not even black people like black people, okay? And it's shown by the way we treat people, especially the ones that look like us. We who were born here, our ancestors died and fought for this country. Where's the affection and respect for us? We represent in the Olympics, war, and almost everything that America is involved in. We are at the forefront, along with supposedly our European counterparts, but they have always played the master role. And we act like we destined to fulfill the slave role, but that's over. And I don't know what it's gonna take for some people to open their eyes, but guess what? I'm not speaking of revolution, even though I know the revolution will not be televised, okay? Anytime we do something, it's almost turned around to be a villainous act. But after everything that has been done to us, you try to measure us against other people, yourself, other people of color, after you have taken away all the things that would make it a level playing field. And most of us who don't suffer like the bottom, okay? They used to call some parts of some cities the bottoms. And guess where the top was? It was in the European community. But a lot of us who've gotten money, a lot of us who haven't felt the bite of racism and of not having enough, not being able to progress like normal people or normal citizens in the United States. One lady just said, I didn't realize and know about racism until I experienced it. And I bet you when she experienced it, that was one of the most traumatic days of her life. But you see, not to talk too much about color, but a lot of blacks have been passing for white for a long time. But when it comes down to the bare truth, they're not going to accept you. When it comes to money, they'll fight amongst themselves. And now they are putting the overseers, even the police and military, and people who thought they were middle class. There's only going to be two classes, and guess which one you're going to fall into. Now all of a sudden you see it when you can't pay your mortgage, okay? And you can't afford and do the things that you used to do because you had privilege. Now, we are the miseducated, asking to be unrelated to the very country that human beings were evolved and elevated. Oh, ill-fated, hated, and castrated. And don't forget about the Arabs, okay? The ones who first made a chattel slavery effort in colonizing parts of Africa. We don't talk about them too much, okay? Because now they're billionaires and trillionaires, but no matter where you go, you try to run away from the very place that you made all your money. You try to separate Africa into the Middle East and all kind of other different places, changing the names and everything else, but you can't change the tectonic plates in the earth. You can't change what's under the surface of the earth. So no matter how much you sit down and make maps different and promote different ideologies and words and names of different things, you can't get away from Mother Earth, Africa. Now, I may be frustrated, but I know I'm African, created. I must be aggravated, and I may be aggravated, but I am spiritually armor plated. They miscalculated when they enslaved us, segregated us, mutilated us, but you messed up when you failed to terminate us. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter if we receive something from this election, because what have we received in any of the other elections? Okay? But we need to come together to show ourselves that we can come together. This man has always gave you the crumbs off the table, and you sit there like one of his pets because you take his money, and when you take his money, he takes your pride, he takes your family. He turns around and miseducates you and gives you a book that you hold so dear, when in fact it was based on African principles. It was based on what came straight out of Africa. But you don't know that because you don't know your history. His story became your life.